Hey everyone, good evening, good evening. So plan tonight is to block in a couple of new Ouranosaurus skins. So that's why I have the Ouranosaurus up, and I got my concepts and reference up here on my other screen, and I'm just gonna get started. So yeah, the goal is to block in a couple new ones. So we have a total of 3 going right now. So let me get the process going. Just pull up OBS really quick. Make sure that that's actually working properly. Okay. So that's the right color, and then this color. So I'm just laying in all the colors right now, or a few of them. This one is almost exactly the same. Add a bit of variation in here. Let's see. I'm going to see how far I can get on this. I imagine it's not going to be too much of a problem for me to actually block both of these out really quick. Maybe an hour each, and then that should like fit pretty neatly inside the stream tonight. Looks okay. Maybe a little too random. But with the other stuff on top, it might not be a problem. Maybe more Gaussian. So with colors that are like so closely associated like this, they're just a little bit. They're shades that are just a little bit off from each other. They're not like completely, not super noticeable on first glance. I'm just going to use them to create some color variation. And it looks like there's a couple pairings of those types of colors in here. So I'm going to do that. And hopefully it'll add some depth to the concept, because some of these concepts with the limited color palettes that we have, they can feel a little bit flat. The colors can feel a little bit flat, which I'm trying to combat here. So I'm going to do that. So this is actually going to need some paint. So get this started. This is going to be the counter shading. Try to go for probably a splashy dirt paintbrush. Make sure my symmetry's on. Is it? Yep. Okay. If we have time at the end, I'll probably switch over to Echocarcaria and start another skin for him. I'm kind of going through the current models, the Echocarcaria and the not the Puru, the Ouranosaurus for sure, and trying to wrap up these textures as soon as I can. The Puru is about to be textured soon, probably within the next week and a half. So that'll get started as well. This is just kind of basic counter shading. There are some complex like spots on this one, this color. But I'm trying to work a little bit smarter, not harder, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block in the general area that the color exists in, and then on a separate, just so I can give myself a bit more control, on a separate masking layer, I'm going to add those spots. I think that'll work pretty well. We'll see. I'm constantly revising my workflow anyway, so this might be the way I do this skin, but it might totally change by the time I do it. By the time, you know, we get into the refinements and stuff. There's some stripes on the face that will go here. And then some spots on the chin and the neck. We have, I think there's another variation layer here that I can use. So this color, this is a pretty mess. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a fill. I'm going to actually copy the mask below this, the fill. That way they're like kind of existing directly on top of each other. This color needs to change. So change it to there. On top of this, add a texture. Let's see. On a filter. We want textures. Something with some nice variation. Something like this might be interesting to try. Problem is this needs to multiply. Yeah. It's not going to be super noticeable, so I might need to amp up the contrast. Let's see. That looks pretty nice. Could do just because this is a block in, I might leave it here. Maybe I don't want it to look too stock. So let me try. Some of these spots are kind of good to add. to add it to the layer below. Let's highlight more. That's probably good. As a start, maybe we'll turn that down just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that works. So done with that color. I'm not done, but blocking's good. Moving on to the next one. These are stripes, so I'll need to be more specific here. So pick my color. Stripes. Just thinking what order I want to do this in, but we're just gonna add paint and then you can rearrange the order of stuff. I suppose. Grab this, maybe. Okay, so this is where we're actually gonna get into the custom add these by painting on. You can't just rely on the procedural textures. So this might take a little bit longer, but that's okay. This skin, I think you'll see as it evolves, works really nicely with the forms here, especially on the sail. The way it curves and kind of complements the flow of everything is really nice. I want to make sure I'm putting things in the general right place. This one kind of breaks right there, and then it comes down here into the chest, or over the shoulder rather. And then what it does in the front, I'm not sure, because I can only see the side of the concept. So we're gonna make it interesting up here. Fun way it ends there. This one actually goes all the way down the shoulder. Right here. Okay. Ona. Why is he kind of cute though? The Urano. I guess he's kind of. I guess you can see him as cute. I have a baby version of the Urano that we're going to be working on soon. So hopefully that guy looks pretty cute. That's kind of the goal of those guys. We want them to look kind of like a baby crocodile. I think those guys look pretty cute. Yeah, little baby guy. It's gonna be pretty fun. Maybe I think maybe the depends. It depends on how much I'm able to get done this week. If because I'm not like restricting myself to just doing work on the Urano to the streams. So I might do that off stream, but if not, I'll do the aging like steps on stream too. What's really going to be fun is the baby Purusaurus. I'm looking forward to doing that one because he's basically a crocodile, you know. I get to do his little model, so. I think that one will be pretty convincing. Blizzard, what's up? How's it going? Yuki Ona, so far I love the Urano design, very realistic and the colors are fantastic. Also, what was the name you'll do next? I missed the name. We'll be working on, I think well, tonight if I get a chance, depending on how fast I move through this, we might be doing some more Eocarcharia stuff. Because I have another skin to work on for that guy. So we might do that. And then I was talking a little bit about the Purusaurus. Purusaurus is basically a big caiman. It's very closely related to modern caimans, or as close as a prehistoric animal could be, I suppose. But I was saying that the baby version of that guy is going to look pretty cute, I think. And thank you. Thanks for your compliments on the Urano design. The skin design itself, the one I'm working on right now, is done by one of the skin concept artists that works on the game. His name is Yaroslav. So he's the one who designed this skin for the Ourano. That's looking, I mean, so we haven't, like, we're not done stacking up these colors, but I think that's already looking pretty cool. I like the stripes. Actually, this is the darker color. So this darker color actually needs we need a gradient of this. It's supposed to be very dark up here on the back. And then kind of it'll gradiate down to like the middle of the back here. So that's something I need to make sure I add. Add that really quickly in there. Then get back to the stripes. Here we go. Material viewer. Jaden, do y'all plan to add this game to console? You know, I don't know for sure. I don't think I'm I don't know that information basically. I'm just a modeler, so I work on the dinosaurs they tell me to. I don't know what the future plans are regarding that. Thanks, Jaden. Appreciate it. So it's this kind of stuff is a real test of like your observational drawing skill. I suppose I could just overlay the texture somehow. If they let you do that here in Substance Painter, I'm pretty sure there's probably a way to do it. But it's kind of nice to get a little bit of differentiation. I have to count these stripes. Okay, so we got 10 stripes on the tail. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 goes here. Yuki, I don't think I've seen Ouranosaurus in any other games as a playable, so I'm beyond stoked about having it as a playable here. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it as a playable either. Trying to think. Yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I might have an extra stripe in here. We can adjust the spacings later. But just for the sake of completion and having it look finished, I add a little bit more in there. I like how that's feeling. I'm gonna keep going down this leg, and then we got the arm to do. This is the hardest part, basically, is this pattern. Making sure this pattern looks good. Once this pattern is done, most of the hard part is over. We'll still get in there and give it some nice detail and variation and stuff, but some cool stripes down his foot here. Whenever I see stripes like this on especially a hadrosaur, I'm always reminded of the iguanodon from Walking with Dinosaurs. I think it was an iguanodon. Ouranosaurus is actually pretty closely related to iguanodon as well. Okay, here's the leg. Grab some water really quick. Oh, they were white, Yuki? Yeah, I can't quite remember exactly what they were like. It's been a while since I've actually watched Walking with Dinosaurs all the way through, you know. He's got some stripes on his hands as well. His weird mitten hand. Blizzard. Do you ever create an entire skin and then look at the final product and decide to bin it? No. Usually if it gets binned, it's at the concept phase. Because like at least personally when I'm designing skins, you can kind of feel like when it doesn't work, when it isn't working. And I'll usually try to like work with it and like try and get it to feel right. But if it's just not working out, then I just move on to a new idea. But if a skin gets to like this stage and I don't like it, I don't think that's ever happened. I'm usually pretty decisive about that stuff. And as far as the game goes, the skins go through a pretty decent round of reviews before we decide on one. So we try different versions and we compare them to a lot of different options. So by the time we decide on one, it's kind of there's been multiple rounds, making sure that it works. It's interesting. It's got a decent amount of appeal, all that stuff. Yeah, we have a few different artists that are working on skins. And then we review them in Discord, and they do like a ton of different variations on them before we decide on one. Sneak in a heart on the stripes. There is lots of opportunities to be sneaky in here. I've never done that before though. I think with the amount of spots and stuff on him, one will probably just naturally form on here. Let's see where what brush was I using earlier? This guy. So, okay, so I have this mask. This is the stripe mask. And then this is only the first color of the stripe mask, though. This color here will be a darker black. And then we will reference, what mask is this? Yellow. So we need to So yeah, that's much more punchy there. But we gotta use this as, what are we gonna do with this? We gotta use it as a multiply. Another fill. I really like this texture here. I feel like it worked well. Or was it this one? And then, yeah, that looks pretty cool. And then we combined it with, what did we combine it with? Some kind of spots. Okay. These ones? Yeah. I don't want them to be so tiny though, so I'm gonna keep them pretty big. Then what we will also do is we'll create a gradient too, because I don't, it's hard to see on the concept because they're so closely, they're just like, it's like super dark on top of another dark color. But I am imagining, if I'm following the trends that the artist set up here, I think there's probably a gradient right here on the back. So we'll do that. We got the stripes. How am I doing on time? Okay, 45 minutes. I've been working on this. This color is going to be orange. This is the this skin here is the male skin. Yeah, it's the male skin. This is like the male accent color here. Use the yellow mask again. I don't know, male dominance markers, I guess. It's just the sexual dimorphism. So, this is just the color that appears on the males that doesn't appear on the female. Tony the tiger skin, yeah. he was definitely in that realm for a second. What is going on? This. Okay. I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna. What are we gonna do here? We're gonna use this to multiply. Oh, thanks, Yuki. I had a lot of fun sculpting the model. It was a learning experience, though. I didn't know too much about iguanodontids, or animals related to iguanodon. So it took a bit of research to figure out. Especially Ouranosaurus is kind of weird in his like family group, because of the sail that he has. So it was kind of hard to figure out like exactly how to reconstruct it. I ended up asking a really good friend of mine who's a paleontologist, like how they would go about it, and thanks to their recommendations, this is what I ended up with. I think it works pretty well. It's not like the like super thin type of sail that you usually see like on Spinosaurus or something like that. It's got more muscle to it. So I said I was going to come back. So we got a little bit. I'm wondering what I should do next. Okay, we'll do this. I'm going to add another paint layer here, and I'm going to get some of these spots in here. I don't know. I think I'm pretty well on track today to get to my goal, so I don't mind spending a little extra time getting some details in here. These details will need to be refined much more, but I'm just going to make sure that there's something here. He has, like, I've established the gradient of where the orange goes, but he has like little splotches of this orange color on him. So I want to make sure that I'm adding that in, right? Maybe not that. This one, maybe. Be a little bit bolder here. Put this in, and then we'll do some editing later to refine it. I made these brushes like years and years ago. Maybe almost 10 years ago. Maybe a little less than that. Maybe like 7 or 8 maybe. But I still use them all the time. They still work pretty well. Did I ever see myself making dinosaur skins with them? Yeah, that's one of the reasons. I think initially they were just like regular paint brushes. Some of them I made like entirely custom, and some of them were just Photoshop brushes that I modified. Um, but yeah, the whole intention of them was to be able to do like better patterns on dinosaurs. So that's what I made them for. A lot of the times though, like I'll make a custom brush, and for whatever reason it just doesn't work the way I like it. I would want it to. So I either like keep refining it until I like it, or I'll just give up on it and just like forget it. But these were some of the few brushes that just kind of worked, and they've been working. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty picky about it, you know. It takes a lot of effort to make custom brushes because you always have to test them. And usually you can't tell if they're working like properly like right away. You kind of have to take them through their paces. Like actually do a project or two with them to see if you like them. And I just get too impatient with them, to be honest. So I don't have like a ton of custom brushes, but the ones that I do, I use fairly often. I really like this color that's happening. There's a nice blend between this orange and this darker, like greenish gray. I like how that's mixing there. I think it looks really cool. They have some nice orange here on the eyelid. So I'll get in there later and like do much more little like freckles and stuff. There's one other thing that I want to make sure I'm doing. This color here. Is that the color? Yeah. Yeah. I said I was gonna come back and do, because he's got stripes on his face too, and like a bunch of like little freckles and stuff. So I'm gonna add those in. The stripes on the face make him look really cool. I like it. Give me 1 second. My friend just sent me a clip of me falling off a cliff in Peak. So we were playing that a little bit last night. Give That looks really cool. I like that added element of the stripes on the face. He's got spots too on his face, like his little cheek area here. So I'm gonna add those in just a second. Yeah, my friends always send me clips of the dumb stuff I do in games. we got a we got a good library of them already. Since I read the temperature will be a key point in survival, would dinos like Ouranosaurus have it easier? You know, I don't know. That would be a cool feature to add. I guess you're thinking that the sail would be a component in regulating the body temperature, right? I'm not sure if that's planned as like a feature for Ouranosaurus, but that would be really awesome if they included that. I mean, that's a good idea. I don't know if there's like an idea pitching section in the Discord or something, but you might try just making mention of that and seeing if they implement that, because that is a good idea. I'm gonna add some of the bigger, like major freckles or like spots here, but then I'll probably move on to the next skin in a second. I'll just get some of these on the neck here. And we'll move on to another one. I'm liking the way it's looking so far. Lots of stuff to tweak and refine, but as far as like a block-in goes, I think that's a good spot. So make sure to save it. And then, what is this skin? This skin is a redwood skin. So I'm going to save this as to... Oh, man. My arms are super sore. So I'm just gonna I'm basically just repurposing everything that I've already done, um, just with a different pattern. So I'm just gonna delete all of this stuff, and we'll kind of like reset it back to default, essentially, and then start in with the new colors. Okay. So I'm estimating that this will probably take the same amount of time. So should be able to get this done during stream. I think I'm gonna have to do... I'm seeing a pattern here that I'm gonna have to do a little trick to get to work. I think it'll be cool. We'll get there in a second. This is a very very subtle gradient that I'm trying to work on right now. I actually... Oh. I did it in the wrong order. I want it to be... It needs to be balanced, you know, like... It's definitely a gradient, but I don't think it should be, like, super perfect. Like, the way that, if you do a gradient in Photoshop, you get the very perfect, you know, gradual change between colors, but, you know, this is, an animal. I don't want it to feel like mathematically planned out or whatever. So I'm going to leave a little bit of variation in there. Use the color of your coffee, yeah. This kind of rusty brown color, and then I have another brown. It's darker. And this is going to be another layer to the gradient. That, and now a very dark, almost black, kind of gray color. Dark gray, kind of a warm gray. This whole thing is just gradients. I'm finding out. It's just a big gradient. But there is a surprise. I don't know, maybe I have to do that off stream and then you'll have to find it somewhere. Okay. So I got that gradient done. And got a bunch of spots to do. I have to label these or else I'm gonna get lost. Some spots and some stripes. Yeah, he is pretty coffee. I mean, I feel like we kind of need names for each of the skins. Just to like get them organized and otherwise it's just gonna be like skin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know? So maybe we need to find names like coffee or like, I don't know, something cool to give them so that they can be at least identifiable. Even if it's just for the texture artist's sake, you know. Yeah, that's actually really cool in Sumatra. Maybe they need to do like a poll or something in the Discord or on social media, like name the skin or something. my own detail here. How am I gonna do this? Okay, I got an idea. Is that gonna work? Sorry, I'm just thinking about how I'm going to handle a certain detail here. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'll have to paint these on because they're the darker version and then copy it downward. That way I know they match and then do some additional stuff later. But I just want to make sure that these match the lower stripes. That way I can see through them later. I think that it's important for the effect. So they need to match up. I figured it out, I think. There's probably some cleverer way to do it in the layer stack with like referencing the layer directly somehow, but my brain is like totally done with like messing with layers today. So this is what we're doing. Yeah, essentially, Yuki, so this darker color is actually kind of nested inside of the previous color that I was working on, this kind of lighter gray. But so they kind of have to sit inside of each other. But I think if I make the darker color first and then just kind of modify it to be the lighter color later, it'll save me some. Because there's like a bunch of fancy stuff that you can do in Substance Painter where like you can like recall a mask in the layer stack somewhere higher above it, but sometimes it just causes more problems. Like you're trying to like link something, but it's like referencing an additional part of the mask that you don't want it to. It can get a little bit weird. So I was just probably overcomplicating it in my head, and this way is a little bit more direct. It's not the most elegant solution, but it'll work. It's really nice, like when, you know, in Substance Painter or even Substance Designer, when you can like get all of your pattern to like work nice and neatly, you know, in terms of being like efficient in the layer stack. The more layers I add, the harder it is to work with. Eventually it will start to bog down my computer, even though I literally built this computer to do this type of work, but it still has its limits, you know. Okay, so now there's a lot of spots going on here. So there's these like continuing like arcs of spots that go down the body, or that go down the torso here. So it makes a cool transition. There's a lot of them. Yeah, I think the artist did a really good job of making sure they feel like spaced out and natural. It's really easy to get it like very formulaic about these types of patterns. And the fact that I'm not copying it directly. I'm like getting the gist of it down on here, but there's really no way for me unless I like literally project it and trace every single spot. There's really no way for me to get it 1-to-1 exactly. But something like this I don't think really requires it. So I am adding a little bit of additional variation, which I think is helping. But yeah, overall, I think this is really cool. I really like this section here in the torso is probably my favorite part of this skin. I think it looks really nice. I like when patterns like coincide with the flow of the body. Doesn't always happen in nature, but when it does, it looks really cool. A cheetah, yeah. Tabby Cat has that pattern as well on their belly. I think that looks really cool. This might, I don't know, this might be my favorite skin for the Ourano so far. So this is really cool too, the way that it transitions onto the leg and becomes like horizontal. This contrast is nice. The way it becomes more subtle over the top of this like dark gray here. That's a really cool choice. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm not actually. That's kind of a little bit of an addition that I'm adding in there. I'm not actually. I can kind of see it, or maybe I'm hallucinating. But I think there. I think it's in the concept, but we'll keep it there for now. Sometimes the colors are just so close that it's hard to tell. I'll do my best. Stripes here on the tail. Oh, back to the material. That is generally the idea there. I wish that Substance Painter actually... What is the shortcut for this? 2? That's crazy. Keep hitting E, thinking that it's the shortcut for the eraser, but for some reason Substance Painter decided to not make sense when it comes to its keyboard shortcuts, and decided to make it 2. I can always change it, I suppose. I don't know what E activates then, because it doesn't seem like it does anything. Yeah, 2 is the eraser. It's really weird. Okay, so that is that's the spots added in there. But I have one more level of complexity, I suppose. This. I think the white stripe is a really cool touch. kind of wish I had the ability to, when I'm doing long lines like this, especially like if I'm painting something in Photoshop, I like to rotate the canvas so it matches the angle of my arm better. But you can't rotate the canvas in Substance Painter like that necessarily. So it's a little bit difficult to keep this smooth, but make it work. Turning on the quick cavity mask just to add a little bit of, I want to see the scales in there. This won't be part of the export because we have stuff that we're doing to it in the engine, but so I can see in here. There's a few things that I probably will do later to, because I really like the stripe, but the danger in like something so bright and that takes up so much of the space of the dino is that it can look a little bit monotonous, the color. So I have a few tricks that I can use to get some variation in there. Like some variation in the edge is good. I'm trying to incorporate that right now, but I'll get a little bit more later. And then just a little bit of difference in the color. Otherwise, I really like the way it looks. We actually have these need some stripes on the hands. They gotta make sure are there. I think so. This idea. I usually don't do this. If I can, I want to incorporate this detail because there's actually a stripe that continues onto the keratin here. And I might incorporate that as well. Usually we leave the keratin along the claw color. But this looks pretty cool. It's a good idea to bring some of this bright, like the white color, somewhere down here, just to balance out the design. So there's more stripes on the feet here too, so that'll help as well. Okay. That worked out pretty well. I was able to get both of those skins blocked in, and it's almost, I have 6 minutes left in the stream. So that was pretty good. It rarely works out that way where I'm like, I mean, generally I know how long it takes me, but usually there's like some sort of something will happen, get in my way, and I'll end up a little bit over, but this is good. Cool. So I got two skins basically blocked out, and then we can do some refinements on those. I'll probably take care of that this week, and we'll see what we do next week. I'm not actually sure. This is like our kind of turning into the, I guess, the variety kind of stream. I never know what I'm gonna be doing on this one, so we'll see what it ends up being. Could be something continued from this week's, could be something entirely new. I don't know. But thank you all for being here and chatting with me today. I don't really have any additional announcements. We're working on the Ouranosaurus on Saturday, moving on from the retopology finally, and we're gonna start prepping everything for texturing and baking and all that stuff. So that'll be Saturday at 7 a.m. or 9 a.m. PST. Other than that, see you next Wednesday. Next Wednesday at the same time, I'll be doing another stream. So thanks everyone. See you around, okay?